Hi, I'm Natalie Manueli, and I partner with my good friend Dorion Renaud, who is the CEO and founder of Buttah Skin. We wanted to highlight the stories that continue to shape how we see ourselves, to shine a light on our inner beauty. Here is Beyond the Surface. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
You are
know
phenomenal.
You are. Look at you.
Thank you.
Mom, wife, yes.
All the girl.
Business.
You are a phenomenal actress, comedian. If we look at your resume, you have various TV shows, various films. You graduated from Baltimore.
Arts. Oh, yeah, Baltimore School for the Arts. Okay, take it back, yes.
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 How did you find your love for acting?
You know, my love for acting came very early. I was one of those kids that was very vocal about what I wanted to do from a very early age. I've always known, you know? My parents always laughed and said that I always wanted to, I would say, I want to be in the TV.
You would say, I want to be in the actual TV.
I thought they were inside the TV.
How old are you?
I had to be like 4.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to be in the TV. I want to do that. And they were like, okay. And, you know, we Baptists, so there's like, look at what the Father is doing with her. You know, like, so it was always, how do we cater to that? And both my parents were artists. My mom was a classically trained dancer. My father sang in church and would sing all over. So it wasn't odd to them that I had a performer personality and wanted to be in front of the camera and do stuff. So I've known from a very early age. And then I would say, I'm gonna be an Academy Award-winning actress. So speaking it and doing it and just being with a family that supported it was just monumental for me.
Now, acting career is not an easy feat it's not an easy career to actually embark on.
No.
And with that comes a lot of transitions.
Yeah.
In that industry, from having a job to not having a job, from getting that no to finally getting that yes, from one role to the next. And in some cases, transition definitely pulls out or can invite fear. It can invite doubt. It can invite uncertainty. How do you not partner with those things and accept those invitations of those things?
I mean, those things come.
Yeah.
Okay, fear, it's common for any profession you want to have, but being an artist, committing to being an artist, that's a faith walk, a consistent faith walk. Even when you're at where you think you want to be, it's still consistently a faith walk. And I commend that to my parents, the tribe that raised me. I was raised in the church. So church was, in God, and just understanding the faith walk and understanding putting God first and understanding your purpose was always in front of me, but really doing the faith walk, you have to put that in action when it comes to doing this. You have to say what you want and believe in yourself and believe that He will provide it also. But one thing I will say that I really commend my parents in taking the time for me to, that they put me in was doing regional theater. I got to really meet and be around and socialize with other artists. So my idea of acting was not glitz and glamour. It was not this thing that I was gonna become, whoever, Whitney Houston. I was gonna be like just the glitz and glamour of it all. It wasn't like an instant success. I always remained humble because I saw people who were humble to the process and to what it took to be an artist and what a gift it was to be a true artist. And because of that, I think that what has sustained me and that has kept me really faith-based and in reality of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and what the reverence, like like what it is.
So all of that is fantastic, and that is what is needed. But take me to a moment where you went out for a role. You really believe that it was for you. You really believe that, okay, God, I prayed for this. I believe and know that you're going to answer my prayer, and you don't get it. And a girl that looks just like you books that role. What is your self-dialogue? What's your self-talk?
Well, that's different for me. I know people get into this place of competition and like, why wasn't it me? I've always, and it doesn't happen to a lot of, because I've been auditioning my whole life, whether it was for theater or commercials or TV shows. I remember going for an audition for the Bernie Mac show, and I was in Baltimore, and my mom took off work to drive me to Virginia for like the callback or the producer session or something like that. And I just was like, this is the moment. I can be one of the leads of a show, and this can take me on the trajectory, da-da-da-da. And I think that was the last time I felt like I put all of my eggs in the basket, and that was all I had. And I was maybe like 14 or something like that, and I said, they will all see me, and they will all know. And I didn't get it. It wasn't for me. But what it taught me was, and what my dad said to me, he said, if you can take a no now, you are believing for a yes that is actually for you. Wow. It is actually for you. So if you can accept this no, and I was heartbroken. He was like, you are believing for a yes. He's like, to be an artist is to know that no's come with it. Yeah. But to believe for a yes means that there is going to be a yes.
How do you surrender to that? Because in reality, a lot of people don't have that faith muscle. They don't have that faith backbone. So what would you tell someone that is in a position where they've gotten nothing but no's? But knowing that they're called to be an actress, knowing that they're called to be a creative, but all they get is no after no after no after no.
Well, I feel like, everyone's journey and walk is different. I can say all day, God told me to do this. You have to know it for yourself and always be open for what else is out there. So if you're getting no in one area, ask yourself why. I kept getting no's in one area, and I said, okay, I need to perfect this thing. I was humble enough to go get lessons. I was humbled enough to go ask questions. I was humble enough to say, okay, let me shift myself, and God presented something to me in that moment that actually grew me into another area that I was able to focus on, so that energy wasn't being suspended in something that really was lacking in that moment. But I was putting my energy somewhere else, so when I was called to do something else in that moment, I got it. Because when you're putting all of your energy in one area, you're not getting what you want sometimes. And there has been moments like that. I remember when I was first starting out, I worked at Costco, and I would sell samples, chicken sausage. Right?
Costco, when? What year?
This was right after college.
Okay.
And I was booking like guest stars on Lifetime, and I was the crying pregnant teenager on all the shows. So I would come in there, Lincoln Heights, like, you took my baby. And it was so, it was shortly, but it was all these dramatic roles, and I was coming to do one thing, stand there, cry about a baby, and walk out, And after a while, I was just like, those came once every so often after every audition. You're going in when we were able to go in auditions and stuff. And I would go do my chicken sausage and sell that on the weekend, $17 an hour, okay?
Oh, hello. That's good money.
That's money,
That's
you know
good
what I'm
money,
saying?
Costco. That's good.
But, there were times where in that flow of it, that I was getting no after no after no, and then I would say, you know what? I'm low on cash. I'm gonna go apply for Apple One and be what is it? I haven't done it in so long. Be a receptionist or apply to be something like that. And I would go to an audition and I would just release it. I did it. I actually still to this day do my auditions and I throw my sides in the trash.
Really?
I throw them immediately in the trash.
What would you do before?
Oh, I would hold on to it. I would make sure I was, I should have did this moment. Living in the past. Yeah, I can't change the past. I did what I did. Let it go. If it's for you, it's for you. And then I would be focused on getting another job, then they would call me for a callback and I would get it. Or they were putting a pin in you because your energy is somewhere else. I don't know how it works, but when I give whatever is on my mind and anything around me to God, I have to trust that he has my best interest.
Yeah.
And so I just walk in that. If it's for me, if that door is open and it's for me, I have to believe it's actually for me. And if it's not for me, I have to believe it's not for me. So I can't be living in other people's life.
Right.
Because when I go in something and I force myself into it, girl, when you force yourself into some shit,
well,
the joke is on you.
The joke is on you. What I read once was, if you go outside of God's will to get what you want, you have to stay out of his will to keep it.
Girl, who want to sign up for that? And that's one thing I do say. Before everything I do, your will be done.
Come on.
Your will, not my will. I don't want, if it's my will, I don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know whatever is in his will, it's for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And I can receive it, the hardship. And it's nothing really that hard, because it was all a gift. It was all a lesson, it was all of it, was something for me.
And that's what, switching gears a little bit to talk about the gift, if these past few years have been nothing short but arduous for pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we don't realize, sitting back, that yes, these last 2 years have been hell, you know, but also they've been a gift. God is creating, he is being creative in the commotion. There is lessons to be had in these past few years, and he uses it for his good. So with that, how do you maintain your optimism for the future, looking back and knowing the things that we've been through with this pandemic?
I just have to be grateful, moment to moment. That's all I can do, is just live in consistent gratitude. You know, there's so many people that died this year. There's so many people that lost their family members. My God. We just have to be grateful. Grateful that we've had successes, grateful that people are, you know, revealed friendships are revealed. You know, people are exiting out of our lives that are supposed to exit. It's just so many things that we should just be grateful for, you know? And I think that's what keeps my optimism, because if he kept me then, he'll continue to keep me now. And if I'm in the moment and I'm sitting in that space of fear and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is this all gonna work out? I wanna get married, I wanna have babies. How is this gonna do da-da-da-da-da? Take a deep breath and see where you are and see where you could be. Driving here, I saw so many tents, so many people living. And still, we're doing what we love to do. That is enough. That is enough. And I think if more people took the time to look around and see what they have and see what they should be grateful for and how much of a gift that is.
Yeah. What has this pandemic taught you?
Oh, what has it taught me, honey? To just relax.
It's funny you say relax, because I was having a conversation earlier, and I believe that we are in a generation. We have the propensity to put this false sense of urgency on everything. It's like urgency to do this, urgency to do that, because we are looking at social media. We are wanting to compare ourselves. We are wanting to do the next thing, but not realizing that the gift is in the now. The gift is in the being.
The being.
The gift is not in the doing, it's in the being. And so I can definitely identify with you saying just to relax, because it's like, wait a minute. We've lost sight of the bigger why, because we're so focused on the doing as opposed to the why for the doing.
Exactly.
So for you, it's relax.
Relax, live in gratitude. Life is going life, okay? Okay, it's gonna life.
Life is going to life. That's good.
It is. Life is lifing right now. We can't change. What are we gonna tell COVID? Sit down, COVID. Let me go to the club real quick. You are left with choices. The choices you make are what you're left with. You know, God is gonna still be reigning over all of this. Yeah. He is over all of this. So it was already gonna happen. So you just need to relax, have a seat, learn your lessons, okay? So when everything is back in order or the new order of things, you know how to operate.
What has this pandemic exposed to you about your personal self?
Listening.
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 Listening as far as listening in relationships, listening in
everywhere,
work.
Everywhere. Because when you're moving so fast. You're moving so fast that you don't really take in what people need from you, what people want from you, what you need to change about you. That's good for you. You know, do your own self-work. Go to therapy.
Do you go to therapy?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm same.
Hell yeah.
I honestly, I'm like, how do people do it without it?
Girl, I had 2 therapists in the pandemic when we was in quarantine.
Listen.
I had 2.
Listen, it's real. It's real.
Because when you're sitting there and all you have are your thoughts, you really got to redirect what you want to take in and what you need to throw out and what you need to listen to. So I really just learned how to, and I'm still struggling with it. You know, what I need to listen to, what I'm taking in.
Why do you think you struggle with it?
I want to do what I want to do. I want to listen to what I want. You know, it's more, it's more like moving so fast, you know. And I think, you know, you're working and you're moving fast and then you're not and you're still working to get back to working. And what are you doing? Like, that's what everyone's question is. What are you doing next? You know, what do you do? You're just so busy doing. And when you sit back and you really just start listening to what you think about yourself, what other people might say or think about you, even though you're not supposed to give a fuck. You start listening. You have to be careful about what you take in and what you don't.
And what you receive.
And what you
accept.
And what you accept.
Yes.
So listening, being in a new love and listening to him and his reflection of me.
Is his reflection of you constructive criticism and it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I could take that? Or is it more of just always loving and enduring?
I mean, if it doesn't have anything constructive, like then what are you getting? You're just getting a teddy bear of love.
Come on.
You know, I mean, I think real relationships, friendships are mirrors.
Yeah.
You know, we show each other what we are. And I think if anything, this pandemic has made me and I think a lot of people around me, to really start telling friends what they need from them. You know, like holding them accountable. Like, I actually need you to do this for me.
Why do you think we didn't do that before?
Because we were moving too fast. You know, like when you can't go and see and touch your friend because there's a pandemic, or, you know, my friends that are moms, and I cannot imagine having kids. I mean, and homeschool.
Ooh.
And how much you need that glass of wine in a freaking FaceTime for just 3 or 4 minutes.
Yes.
You know, and I'll be like, girl, I'm here for you. What do you need?
Yeah.
And how that helped me and how I know that helped my friends. You know, and it's just like for us to share and be there for each other. It's that tribe of love, that tribe of support that we all need.
Yeah.
You get back to what our parents are, you know, like what that thing was that kept us together as a village of raising each other's children, of being a support, you know, a support system. And I think just being open and listening and just really leaning on the people who love you and support you is really what it's taught me, is just to love, be love, give, and listen.
And listen, so who was Bresha in 2021 and who will she be in 2022?
She will be married in 2022.
Woo, come on. She will be married in 2022.
She will be married in 2022.
Amen to that.
I mean,
I love that.
yeah, just happy, more happiness.
More happiness.
More happiness. She was happy in 2021. I mean, God really showed up and showed out in my 2021. It was actually like, I shouldn't be so happy.
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
How?
God kept me. He always does, but I was working. I was doing Run the World. I was in New York. You know, I was safe. I'm in love. You know, my family. I was close to my family, so I could go see my family, and I will just hope that happens this year as well. But it will. It is already. Praise God.
It will.
But you know, you work hard to make sure that, you know, the things are opening up the way that they are, and I'm starting to see those works put into action.
Now, if someone, you said you had a great 2021, you had a great year. If we look to the left and to the right, pretty much some people can't say that they had a great year.
No.
They could say that they had a host of valleys and adversities like we mentioned earlier. What word of encouragement could you give them to sustain them for 2022?
The only thing that I could say is remember why you're here.
I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. What if they don't know why they're here? Because we have been sitting with our thoughts during this pandemic. We've been sitting with the self-awareness. You know, I think also one of the gifts of the pandemic is that the drama that it has brought has been an offering to self-awareness, an offering to self-awakening. But a lot of people in this self-discovery of their awareness of themselves and their awakening of themselves, some of them don't even know why they're here, but you're here.
You're here. You're here. And I mean, it's a constant searching. It's a constant prayer. But you know, you just have to believe that God has a reason for every season. And through every season, if he's brought you through something, I have to go there because that's all I lean on. You have to stand on that. You have to stand on it. He's my rock, my sword, and my shield. And he walks with you. He talks to you. You have to believe that and have him reveal it to you. It's a constant search, even when I think I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm still searching the why. Because I think if you stop searching the why, then what are we here for? Because in every moment, you have to see why you're of service. And I think that's where people get lost. We are here to serve. Serve. And if it is all just for, you know, to just be given into self, you know, it's just this thing that is all for what is coming to me, like that is bull.
Yeah.
That is bull. There's somebody that needs you, that sees you, and that needs you to serve them. And if you can figure out that, God will reveal what the next step is. And I cannot tell you, just for myself, how me putting my energy into something else has served me where I was wanting to be deposited another answer or something, or where am I supposed to be go? Like, I fell into stand-up comedy. I was doing drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many things that I was like, well, what am I supposed to be doing now? Why am I here? What am I doing? I'm just turning in circles, you know? And then I'm putting my energy into something else where he told me to be, where I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do this right now. And I'm gonna figure this out. Oh, I'm gonna go help a friend out with this, even though they didn't ask me that. Or, you know, I'm gonna help the homeless, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then something is given to me. So find your why in those moments, knowing that he brought you here. If you from Timbuktu, he provided a way for you to have a place.
Yeah.
To be able to pay your bills. And even if you can't pay your bills, how are you looking at this interview? You know, like there's just so many things. And if you just put yourself out there and you start asking yourself why, and ask him why, he will tell you. And it's not gonna be like, hey, you're here because, like, you'll be waiting forever for that.
Right.
But I just know in my spirit and what it has worked for me is releasing it and depending on it every single moment.
And when you say service, my God.
Serve.
If we understood that service is the gateway.
It's the gateway.
It's the gateway to our purpose. It's the gateway. It will expose our passion. It will expose those things. But because we are in a generation where we want instant gratification and we don't want to do those things that are kind of quote unquote beneath us because we just want to get there, but we don't realize in order for us to get there, we must first serve and do this. Not only because it's an act of obedience, but it's preparing us for that. The things that we learn in that will give us tools to sustain us for that. So I can fully relate to you on that.
I had to meditate on it for a second. But I was like, come on, God, download
No, you gave it. You gave it.
But it is.
That's it. And I just, I pray that people understand that is the gift of life, is just of service.
It is.
We are here just to serve.
Yeah, I look at acting as a service.
Come on.
When I'm on set, I ask myself, how can I be of service? Because when people watch a movie or they watch a TV show, they're escaping. They're going somewhere where they want to take a break. I'm serving them. I'm serving my crew. I'm keeping it light, because you don't know where people are on any part of the day or where they are and what they're going through. You be a service. You come ready to do your job and leave.
Yeah.
That's serving.
Here at Buttah, we focus a lot on self-care. And obviously these last few years have just been really, really arduous. What has been your self-care practices daily to just keep you sane?
Just what I did, deep breaths. I mean, I have to, anxiety and all of that stuff takes a toll on your face and your body, and I just try my best to just stay optimistic. And that is my self-care. You can put all the serums on your body as much as possible, but when you see that beautiful, aged woman that is just dancing through life, I want what she got. So what are you doing?
Right.
I want to smile more. I want to do all of the things that make me dance through life. And then the serums, and then all of the stuff. And then you put the butters on, and you take the bubble baths, and you do all of that. But I think it starts from the root of taking a deep breath and staying hopeful, Because, honey, what you won't do is stress me out, honey. I say, do not, okay? Do not.
Do not.
Do not, okay? I will stay lifted.
Right.
Amen.
You will stay lifted.
Amen. So I will stay hopeful and optimistic.
Yes.
Okay, let me have a smile line.
So the way you stay optimistic is releasing?
Yes, releasing. Meditation, releasing, prayer. Oh, did you pray today, Bresha? Yeah, you got to pray again. You know, just prayer and just releasing. And then all the serums. I love facial. That's why I love Buttah. I love stuff on my hands because I be doing too much.
And it's so thick.
It's so thick. So
good.
I love the scrubs and I love a nice facialist. Shout out to Tracy Hudson, black owned. Wow. But yeah, I also have eczema, so I always have to keep my anxiety down and just. Yeah. Peace. Yeah. Don't disturb my peace or give me a wrinkle. We
Or
will
else.
Not. Or else, honey.
Or else.
You will have to be cut.
Or
You'll be cut. Keep me young, Lord. Keep me young, you know? That's why I be asking them. I be asking them little old ladies. I be like, what are you
What do you
doing?
do?
What do you do?
And you know, I think, yes, with the serums and all that is great, but thank God for it. But we don't really realize a lot of times that what people actually see and feel outwardly is before they see our skincare is our spirit. They meet our spirit first. They don't meet our skin first. And that
Right.
comes from being inward,
Yes.
doing the inward work, like you said, the root, as opposed to just focusing on the outward. You can wear all the makeup you want.
But if that spirit ain't right, honey, throw it in the trash.
That's it. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Your feedback was magnificent and wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I just hope to
thank you.
teach one, each one. Be blessed. Be blessed. Don't let them get you down, honey. Don't let them.